Hello, welcome to the third episode of this ETL discussion. We have been working on a specific case, a text file, order of data. We were looking at how to extract it, transform it, and loading into the data warehouse. Initially, I thought it could be a two videos, but since it has some extended detail that I had to discuss. I'm extending this into 3 video series. So this is the third and the last one. Hope you have watched other 2 videos. If not, those 2 videos are available in the description list. However, just recall what we have discussed up to now. We had a text file which has order details, and then we want to extract it, transform it, and loading into a data warehouse. So if you remember, this is our text file. And in text file, we had 2 headings for the entire order details. And then we had 3 types of record: header, H record, D records, and T record. Depending on the record type, our details were different. If you recall, we had the customer code, employee number, order date, expire date, so on and so forth. In the detail, we have the line-wise items. Total, we had the currency, promotion, location, and the organization. Now, then to match this text file, we define the fact table for this, and we had measures directly coming out from the text file, as well as three different derived measures. And then we had many surrogate keys coming from following dimensions. Then, so that was our fact table design. We discussed how we came to this fact table design in the first video. The second video, we discuss what is the logic to transform the text file into the fact table. So there we took as an example record order number 1125. For these 4 lines, which belongs to a record order number 1125, that will be translated into this fact table. And we realize this first we looked at how data will be represented in the fact table, and then we saw that for every record, data is coming from multiple places. For example, order number is existing in all the D and T and DT and H records. Quantity, unit price, and discount is available only in the D record. Gross amount, they are derived columns, calculated columns. And customer key, employee key are available in the H record, coming from the H record. Product is coming from the D record, and some other columns are coming from the T records. By analyzing this, we came up with these steps. We came up with these text. So we looked at some ChatGPT solutions as well, and there we saw that ChatGPT solution was not the optimal solution. So then we had a customized homegrown solution. Now today in this, that was discussed in video number 2. Now today's discussion is that what we are going to do now is how are we going to really implement this? Because when we are going to implement this, apart from these tasks, the 13 tasks that are listed here, we have to do few other internal tasks, few other interim tasks. So those are practical situations that we need to do. Let's look at them by implementing this. So I'll be using SQL Server Integration Services, which is an add-in that can be installed through your Visual Studio. So I'll be opening the Visual Studio 2022. So there I will create a new project and I will search for integration services. Okay. So I'll get the integration services templates. So I'll open the first one. I'm not going to discuss about the details of integration service, but I will give you a brief introduction to uh, integration service. So, okay. So this is the integrated environment. So, and there we have a package. So I will say, I will rename this package as pack order. You can have your own convention, but I'm using this as packed order. Now, what are we going to do? We are going to do a data flow. We have data in the text file, and we want that to be in our fact table. So we want to have a data flow. So we'll be using a data flow task in the SSIS. So better practice, we have to rename this. I will say load whatever your naming convention is. So I'm ready for a data flow. Right. So now I have to configure my data flow. Where do we start? I have to start from the text file. So let me start from the text file, which is a flat file source. So I will say order flat order text file. So I have to make a connection to the text file. I will say order text file. And I have to browse the file, which is available in the order date text file. Right. So before doing many things, so now first thing we need to do is we need to skip the first two columns, first two rows, because those are only relevant to that particular report, which we don't care about those two, so we can ignore those two. And then when you go to columns, so you will see those columns here, and by default, your first next row will be taken as the header, and then also by default it is a comma delimiter you have. Since it's a comma separated file, it has taken as a CSV. Now it's always better to verify whether you have the correct data. If I recall correctly, you will see around 100 records here in the sample record. You don't see the entire records. So you can roughly see whether your data is available here. So now with this, I'm ready with my data set. So columns are data is available. I have the option of renaming this, but renaming here won't do anything, because remember, these column names will be different from record type to type. So first task is done. So with this, we have extracted our data. So let's go to this. So we have, so this is first task is done. I'm highlighting this. Actually, it says first three lines, not 3 lines. We have to export first 2 lines. The third one is taken as the header. So we have done with the first one. So next one is split records by order type HDLT. So we have a control for this. The control is conditional split. Conditional split. Now this is a pipeline we have. So I have to connect this pipeline to the other one, the conditional split pipeline. So I have another video on conditional split, another article on conditional split. So you can get those resources both in this in this video description area. Right. So I will say split by uh, order record time. Record time. So once I'm done with that, I have to configure this. So I have to split my data set into three, H, D, and T. So I will, condition is D, one split. I can copy paste this much easily. D and T. Now, as always, it's always better to rename your output according to the data that you are getting. So I will say D records, H records, and T records. Now, in conditional split, there will be a default split output. That is, in case you have different data types, record types. Suddenly, as I told you, these data types are not in your control if you are a data warehouse design. These are coming from a third party source. So they might have a new data type, H, L, you name it. Now, so those will be coming from this path. So you can say, you can leave it as it is, or else this will be the, if anything is not matched with this D, H, and T, that will be available in this path. So we basically, even though we have configured 3, there will be 4 paths. Also, now if you do this, I will do this for the moment, right? I can do this to D and H, and I can rename this as T records. Because we have only 3 record types. D and H will be on those 2 paths, and the other will go to the third path. Technically, this will work in this particular case, but not recommended, because there can be different data types will come. So therefore, always be specific for the record types that you need. Right. So we are done with those 3. We have split our data into 3. We have split our data set into 3. So let's go back to our lines. Okay. So that is second thing is also done. So next one is join 3 records by order number. Right. So we have to join this record by order number. So for that, we have a control called merge join. Right. So we can drag and this HD record. Then we will say D record, and then we will join with H record, and then we will join with T record. Now there's a problem. Remember, when it comes to join, at once you can join only 2 paths. Now you might wondering, in case of database query writing, we write multiple join queries. It might have product, customer, product category, subcategory, right? Lot of queries you have written in one single query. Even though you have written it as a one single query engine will join 2 at once. They can't join all together. There are special query mechanisms to select what are the best optimized tables to join with, and then accordingly they will join. So here also we can't join three tables together. So we have joined two, but still we have an error. If you carefully read this error, it says must be sorted. Now, when you are joining two data sets, these two data sets should be in order. Now you might be wondering, we don't do that when you're doing a query writing. Yes, you don't do it. Database engine will do it for you. But here you have to join them. So this won't work. So we have to do a sorting. Now that is what I said at the start. Even though we did not specify the sorting thing, these are the internal tasks that we need to add. So let's add sorting. So I have to sort all three record types. So let's do the H. And I will say I need to sort by order number. Right? I need to sort by order number. Once the splitting is done, I don't need the order type. So I can remove the order type as well. Always remember, if you don't need any attributes, always ignore them so that you're not propagating that value in your pipeline. So I'm doing two things. I'm sorting this by order number because that is what I am going to join them. And I'm removing the order type. So I will rename this as H sort. Now I can drag and drop this again, but I will do the little, no, I'll take it again. Sorry. So then next one, that is D. Do the same thing, order by this, removing the order type. So that is done. Let me rename this for the simplicity. Then we have the T record. So let me do the configuration, remove the order type. So this is T task. So now we have additional task which was not here. That is, so I will add that. That is, I will say 1.0. That is 1.1 sorting by order number. So that is done. Now let's do the merge join. As I said, I can join only two at once. So I join this and join this. Right. So again, now I have to configure what these columns are. So I have to say right. So by default, it will select the common attribute. So it has joined by order number. If you want, you can take it someone else as well. So I don't need both order numbers. I can take it once. So this will be my order number. And I need all these columns from the H record. And I need all these columns from the D records. Now here, I can rename my columns accordingly. So for that, I need to remember the column names, which let us go back again. So in H, we are starting from here. The first one is order date. Then customer code, customer code, then employee code, expire date. With that, we are done with the H records. Let's go to the D records. That is product code, quantity. Make sure you spell your attributes correctly, otherwise it will be propagated. Quantity, unit price, and discount. So we are done with the first join. First join. Right. That is done. So then we have to join another join. With this join should be joined with the T records. So I can take the merge join again. Right. Now you might think, okay, do we need a sort again to this? Let's try and see. It gives you a warning. Let's see what the warning is. Already sorted. So you don't have to use sort again. So this is already sorted. So you don't have to sort it again. Right. So let's do the join again. It's always better to name these things better so that we can later identify. Okay, order number again. So we need all these columns from this side, and then these three columns from the T records. Again, like what we did before, we need to rename this. So let's see what was our detail records. Sorry, total records, starting from currency, promotion, location, and the organization. Now let's name this accordingly. Currency code, promotion code, location, and the organization. So basically, we are done with the join. So with that, our join task is done. So remember, even though you can see that we are simply saying record join these three records set by order number. But that to happen, we have to do all this sorting as well as two joins. Now only we are completed with the entire joining operations. Right. Before we move, it is always better to verify whether we are at the correct stage. Now, this is a sort of a workaround that I have. Normally what I do is, save this. Normally what I do is, I will introduce an arbitrary destination. If not a destination, you can't run this. Because now I have done the join, but it should have a destination. So in SQL SSIS, I use this row counter as a destination because I haven't yet created the fact tables. So I can use this as a row counter. For row counter to work, I need a variable. Let me quickly uh, go and create a variable, which is I will simply say A. I'm not using it for any other purpose. So it's just for the the intermediate purpose. So I will name this as A. So now I can execute this and see how it is running. So let me execute this. Okay, it executed, but let's look at this. So we had 9 records, right? We had 9 records. Then we split them, H, D, and T. Since we had 2 orders, we had 2 H record, 2 detail total records, and 5 D records. And then we join them Finally, we have end up with 5. But here, you don't see the values. You don't see what is coming out of this. To see the value, you can do a data viewer. You can enable the data viewer. And you can see those values that was in the text file. Order date, customer code. Let's see whether our namings are correct. Employee code, that's correct. Product code, yeah, quantity, unit price, all good. Discount, currency code, promotion code, yes. Location and the organization. So all are good. So our first task is done. Split and merge them together. So now our next transformation phase will start. Let's go back to our uh, our logic for the ETL. So next one is calculate gross amount, discount, and net amount. Okay, let's do that. So for that we have derive column. We are going to derive columns. If you want to format this, it's also possible. You can do a proper formatting. So now I don't need this. I don't need. Let's keep the row count because we might need this in case we need to execute this. Right. So I need to do the calculation of gross amount, discount amount, and the net amount. Okay, let's do this. Right. So we have gross amount is quantity into unit price, which is the gross amount. But we have an error. We have an error. So when we calculate the gross amount, which is the quantity into unit price, but we get an error. Now let's see what the error is. So error is, if you read through this, you will see cannot be used with the binary operator star. Why? Data type, you can see dt underscore wstr. At the top, you can see data type wstr, dt wstr. Now that is a string. When you read from a text file, all the columns are taken as text string files. So you have to convert this into a numeric value. So let's do that first before doing the uh, calculation. So for that, we have something called data conversion control. So you join this. So if you look at this one, so I have to convert all these three, quantity, unit price, discount, to numeric data type. I'm converting it to the numeric data type, and I will rename this, say, numeric discount. So we are done with that, and then only we can connect to the derive columns. Right. So now quantity into unit price, which is the amount, gross amount. Now, since gross amount is not available in this part, I can't take it as the so now the next one is discount amount. So now you can see you don't have this gross amount cannot be used in this expression because the gross amount can be used only after this component. So therefore, we have to use for the discount, we have to reuse this one, and then we have to say discount divide by 100 to get the discount. But we have an issue. Sorry, I made a mistake. I cannot use that this discount. It should be numeric discount. And then I know the discount amount. So that is also done. So then my last one is derived column is net amount, which is minus discount. So with that, I am done with all my derived columns. So this is also done. If you wish, if you want to see those values, you can connect to this and do a quick execution. Sorry, I missed the you have to enable the viewer since you can see those so all those values were calculated accordingly, right? So you can see the quantity, unit price, everything is calculated like we see here, and they are done. So I can see a small issue here, that is it's 12 points. In here it's 12.75, but here this was taken as 12 only. There is a reason for that. That is during the data conversion, I think I have set this one as 0 scale. So better, let's make it 2 so that it can take 2 decimal points as well. And then let me execute this again. Now those values are there, right? So net amount, everything is calculated. Yeah, all are calculated correct. So with that, we have done with that particular transformation as well. So this is also done. Now then, remember we said that date key is a special surrogate key. By removing the dashes, hyphens, you can get the date key. You don't have to do a lookup with the date dimension. So let's do that. If I recall the ChatGPT answer, ChatGPT asked to do a lookup with the table, the date dimension, and get the date SK, which you don't have to do that because date is a special dimension. So we can use the same control. So for this, and there are string functions, what we are going to do is we are going to replace the order date. We will search for hyphen and replace with empty value. So that is, we can say order, date, escape. Similarly, we can use this for the expire date as well. So with that, we are done with those two surrogate keys as well. So let's do a quick execution again. It's always better to do executions for each step and get an idea. Otherwise, since it's a pipeline, you will end up with issues. So I didn't get them for some reason. Let me do a quick run again. I may have missed it. Okay, I know the reason. That is, sorry. When you add new columns, sorry, that is in the data viewer, by default, it won't come, right? You have to re-enable this and then only you will get, because when you enable it, those columns were not there. So you will get only the columns that were available at the time of enabling the data viewer. Something. Let me. Okay, now you got them. Order date SK and the expire date SK. Sorry for the confusion. Right. So let's go back to the the list. Okay, we are done with order date as well. Now we have to get the surrogate keys from the relevant dimension. So it's a similar task that we need to do, but there are few exceptions. Let's discuss them one by one. Right. So now we have the customer code. Let me go back to the our data warehouse. So here, if you look at what we have is this. What we want is this. Your source system does not know your surrogate keys are. What your surrogate keys are. Surrogate keys are internal to data warehouse. So you get this value. You get the customer code. So from that, you need to get the customer surrogate key, what we are doing here is we are doing a lookup. So we use a lookup control. So we use the lookup control for that particular task. So again, we are differing from the ChatGPT answer. ChatGPT said to join entire all the dimensions together. So, but we are doing lookup for each dimension, because if you do a join, in case there are missing values, in case some dimensions values are not available, you don't get any records. To avoid that, we do lookup per dimension. So this will be our customer lookup. Right. So now, so I need to make a connection to the data warehouse. I already have a connection. I'll be using it. And then what is a table I need to look up? That's a dim customer. So this is my data warehouse, my pipeline data set, and this side is the data warehouse dimension table list. So I have the customer alternate key, and I need to join this by the customer code, but I get an error. Data types does not match. Now both are strings. So if you look at this one, this is DTWSTR, this is DTSTR. Even though both are strings, in databases, there are different types of string values. So this one, the dimension table, they have configured it with the Unicode characters. That is why you see a DTWSTR. So now, so we have to convert these data also into Unicode characters. So basically what we need to do is we need to convert this one into Unicode character. I would say DT. Unicode string. So this will be Unicode string. Now, since I know that all the other values are also Unicode, let me convert all at once. You can come back again and do this, but for the simplicity, I will convert all this into Unicode at once. Rename them accordingly. Right. So I'm ready with the conversions. Then let me go back to the lookup. Okay. Make the connection again. So I have the Unicode one. So I want to do a lookup with this. Now it is okay. What I want from the dimension table is customer key. So I'm doing a lookup and I'm retrieving the customer key. Now, if you recall, for the employee dimension, it's a type 2 SCD. Right? If you remember, in employee dimension, it's not just a lookup, because it has versioning capability. Right? So we can see the status current. So when we are retrieving it, we need to retrieve only the current record. If you look at this record, now this particular employee, he has two records. This employee, he has two records. Why? One is the historical record and the other one is the current record. So we are interested in the current record. We are loading it right now, today's, with the today's version. So here what we are going to do is, things are little same. So we need to do the this matching. I'm ignoring some features because it's take long time to explain, but I need to explain you the concept of this ETL. So now I have the employee lookup. Similarly, I need to join by the employee table, but not simple not the entire table. I need only the employee table with the current record. So there I can build a query here. I can say, okay, fine. In the employee, I need only this one, and sorry, not only this one, I need the employee key and the employee national. This will be my lookup key, where status equal to then my lookups are same. I have the employee code. I have the employee code, and I need the employee key. So similarly, I'll do one more lookup. But the things are similar now. You will understand the things are similar now. Do one more lookup. Let's do this for the product. Always. So remember, okay, I'll explain this as well. So after the lookup, there are two parts. One is the what if you find a record, you found a record. What if you did not find a record? We are going by the match output, and let's do this for the product. Again, remember to connect with the Unicode string. So similarly, you have to join all the other lookups. So after this, promotion, location, currency, right? So one after the other, you have to join them. For the moment, let me do a enable a data viewer and see whether it is working as expected. There can be errors. Let's see whether it working as expected. Okay, it appears to be okay. Let's go to the end where you will see the relevant surrogate keys, which is what we were expecting. And once you are done with all the lookups, then it's matter of loading into the data warehouse. So now you can see the very simple example that we selected. It was not very heavy example. It was not very complex example. It was very simple example. Still, we had to spend many thinking, effort to convert this simple text data into fact table. That is the challenge in ETLs. It is case by case. You need tactical knowledge, you need experience, and you need tools. With all this, you can do a better extract, transformation, and load. So always remember, There is no one solution for a given problem. There can be multiple solutions given problem. Hope you understand. You hope you understood the criticality challenges in ETL with this simple example. Thank you very much.